home runs as well, alongside Brian Bogasevic, Kevin Eschenfelder back with you. You just get that feeling, and I think Blummer touched on it just a moment ago. You don't want a 2-5 homestand, that is for sure. But you got to feel somewhat optimistic. There were a lot of unforced errors that hurt the Astros in this series. But all in all, you'll take the way you're pitching as far as the starters are concerned. Yeah, some work needs to be done as far as the bullpen is concerned, but they're swinging the bats okay as well. Maybe not so much with runners in scoring position, but all in all, yeah, they probably played better than the 2-5 homestand.
As far as a 2-5 record can go, you have to feel about as good as this team as you would. The pitching has been outstanding from a starting pitching standpoint. The bullpen has had some up and downs, but it's really kind of leveled off, especially in those middle innings, and you trust that the guys at the back are going to turn it on at some point. And the offense, it's there. We've seen it a couple times this series. It's just doing it a little bit more consistently.
Chris Bassett was on the mound today, and we always look and see who's hot, who's not against a certain pitcher. Well, scorching hot was Yordan Alvarez against Chris Bassett. Was it 5 for 15? He only had 5 hits, but 4 were home runs. Those numbers changed today in a big way.
Sometimes all it takes to get your feel is to have a little bit of comfort at the plate. And Chris Bassett is a guy that Yordan is just very comfortable in the batter's box against. And we saw why in the first home run that Yordan hit, Chris Bassett actually pitched him really well, showed him some hard in, tried to get Yordan to really feel that fastball in. But the thing about Yordan Alvarez is he never feels the need to cheat to go get the fastball. So even if you try to show him hard in, go back away, he's still on it. And then the left on left matchup, that doesn't bother him either. You see him go down and get this ball. This is a lefty sinker below the zone that he just kind of compresses his lower half, goes down and gets it. He doesn't pull off to try to scoop that ball, just drops into his legs a little bit and keeps his barrel right through the zone. When you're as strong as Yordan is, you don't have to try to do more to create power for him. It's just about going down and putting the barrel on the ball, and he can do it any part of the zone.
Yeah, single in his first at bat, then he homered a solo shot, RBI double, solo home run for Yordan Alvarez. And where he hit these tonight, we see a lot of baseball in this ballpark. You don't see a lot of home runs hit up in this area, just right here behind us.
No, when guys go out to the middle of the field for home runs, usually they're just kind of scraping the wall on the way out. Those ones that Yordan hit into right center field, they're going way out past the fence.
All right, we play each and every night, presented by Gallery Furniture. We pick the stick, and, well, we were going to pick Yordan, but we didn't get to pick first. It's the guys in the booth did, and they took the right man, Yordan Alvarez. What a night tonight. That is the best of the 2024 season, a 16-point night tonight for Yordan Alvarez. We had 5 with Bregman and Mauricio Dubon. He was on the downside. For the first time, it seems like all season, Julia comes out on the short end here tonight.
Yeah, not a bad day for us with Alex Bregman just totally overshadowed by Yordan, but we had Yordan the last couple. We're like the guys that bought Apple just a little bit too early.
Yeah, we last 2 nights we took Yordan Alvarez. I'm thinking the best thing that could have happened to Yordan Alvarez is that somebody else picked him tonight, and that was certainly the case. Hey, the outstanding night tonight. Fun to watch Yordan Alvarez and the way he was swinging the bat, because he was certainly the stick to pick, presented by Gallery Furniture. And the guys in the booth, TK and Blummer. You take a look at the starting pitchers in this one tonight, and Chris Bassett. This is about as hard as we've seen the Astros hit Chris Bassett. Last year, he pitched 7 1/3 in one of those. 6 1/3 in one of those games against the Astros. So he pitched into the 7th inning once. The other time he pitched into the 8th inning, and he only gave up 3 runs in those 2 starts last year. 2 of his best starts last year with the Blue Jays were against the Astros, but the Astros had his number. They could have scored more runs. They actually left. They had 2 3-hit innings against Bassett and did not score.
A lot of quality at bats against Chris Bassett. He's a guy who likes to move the ball all around the zone. The Astros hitters did a good job taking what he gave them. There was a lot of fastballs hit the other way, off-speed pitches that were left up, hit to the pull side. Nobody trying to do too much. And even after getting a couple of chances early that the Astros did not cash in on, it's not a team that's going to press or get frustrated. They just kept at it. Eventually it broke through.
Then I was wrong. One of those 3-hit innings, they did score 1 run. That was on the solo home run. But they had 7 hits in their first 3 at-bats, and only 1 run was scored against Chris Bassett. Let's talk about Christian Javier, what you saw from him tonight. Threw 97 pitches in 5 innings, but only gave up the 1 hit, a double to Dalton Varsho. That was the only hit the Blue Jays would get all night.
Christian Javier was really good tonight. He didn't have pinpoint command, but he didn't need it because his stuff was so good and he had such a feel for all three of his pitches. The fastball, he was able to move up and down. The breaking ball, he was able to slow it down at times when he needed it. And the changeup, again, for the second time this season, was a really good pitch and really was his go-to pitch today. And having those three pitches, being able to attack the zone with all three of those, he's able to pitch to all different spots in the strike zone, not just fastball up, slider away. He can stay in on guys. He can go down in the zone with a changeup. He can work hitters front and back with a change of speed. There was more front foot lunging against Christian Javier today than I've really ever seen.
Yeah, 5 hits in his 11 innings that he has worked these first 2 games. And that was the signature of Christian Javier. His first 2 seasons in the big leagues, he was one of the most difficult pitchers to hit. He did walk 5 in this game tonight, but that hit number only at 1. That's what you want to see from Christian Javier.
Absolutely. Christian Javier's he's not a pitch to contact guy. He's not going out there trying to fill up the middle of the strike zone and live with the results. He pitches on the edges. He looks for swings and misses. He looks to get pop-ups. And now not only is he beating hitters at the top of the zone with the fastball, but he's also beating guys out front with the changeup and the ability to slow down the breaking ball.
Well, starting pitching, the Astros, man, do you think about what they did here? 22 1/3 scoreless innings for their starters. That is what the streak is going right now when you go back to JP France. But the starting pitching, absolutely outstanding. Oh, it doesn't hurt the fact that you open this series with a no-hitter by Ronel Blanco.
A no-hitter will really set the tone for the series. And the Astros starting staff has just built a ton of momentum, and we've seen it at times before where entire units build off of one another. One guy wants to try to do better than the guy who went out there before, and that's the feeling you get from the starting rotation right now. Ronel went out there and had a great start. Framber went out there, wanted to try to improve on his first start, and then Christian Javier comes out and does what he did today. So a good run of starting pitching for the Astros and a bunch of guys who really look confident and convicted in their stuff. At no point during any of these outings, anytime there were some guys on base or got into a little bit of a jam, did anybody deviate from their plan and try to go back to what they had done in the past? Christian Javier stuck with that changeup. Framber was confident in his movement down at the bottom of the zone, trying to get ground balls. So some very confident starting pitchers.
Yeah, and
too.
good, as far as the relievers were concerned tonight, they had to cover 4 innings and did it very, very well. Seth Martinez, Montero, Taylor Scott, and it was Dylan Coleman that came in after that. His to clean things up, or to finish things off, I should say, in the 9th.
Oh, man. Not a lot of people can leave the yard right center field. The second home run, it was more impressive because I thought that Meaza actually executed his pitch. That sinker was down, and he went and pretty much just kind of golf it. So that's how strong, that's how good he is.
How great was it to see him have a night like this after a little bit of a slow start?
It was a matter of time. But anytime he could put some good swings like that and hit some balls hard, and it's a good sign. That's exactly what we need, especially doing it with people on base. And I think it's contagious, kind of, spread throughout the lineup the whole entire night.
I know it was a small sample and the Lord's struggle was relative, but could you see signs that he was getting close in the first 6 games when he wasn't getting your results?
Yeah, you start seeing adjustments, in his hands, and he just missed that fly ball to right field yesterday. Kind of got it with the end of the bat, and he comes in and he's like, "I'm close." Anytime he says he's close, he feels it. So he's strong. He's such a good hitter. It's fun to watch.
You were basically 1 out away from 3 straight shutouts in this series, but your pitching was very, very good in this series. With all the injuries you had, that has to be a pretty good development for you here in the first.
Yeah. Starting with our starting rotation, what's that? 22-something innings, scoreless. They set the tone. Javier had a pretty good outing. Command got off a little bit there. Those 5 walks, cost him some pitches. But the those middle relievers, we need those guys. They came in, they threw strikes, got some quick outs. That's exactly what we need.
Where are you seeing some pages in the swings right now?
And I'm going to continue to say that he's quiet. There's not a ton of movement. He's seen the ball. It's a short swing, And, he's driving the ball in the air. And I'm going to continue to say that because if he stays quiet, he's going to see the ball late in the zone, and that's what he needs. He needs to stay in that athletic position to put some good swings. All right, see you guys.
Astros 8 runs on 15 hits in this one. Yordan Alvarez, he was the best of the bunch. A 4-hit game for Yordan. That is his 5th 4-hit game of his career and his 16th multi-home run game of his career.
Good hitters are going to hit, and it was just a matter of time before Yordan busted out, and it's just a matter of time before this offense breaks out. They did it twice this series in a big way. A little bit more consistency on a day-to-day basis, but just the ability to strike fast and put up runs quickly from all different spots in the lineup. Not a lot of teams can do that.
1 run in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and then a 3-run 7th inning. To the 7th inning we go. Jeremy Pena, we talked about the fact that been about 300 at-bats since his last home run. He hit one the night before last, and this, his 2nd of the series as Jeremy Pena goes deep.
It really is true that home runs come in bunches. When your swing is working right and you're timed up right, you start elevating the ball a little bit more. And then Jeremy Pena looks like he's in a really good spot. And Joe Espada talked about it a little bit in his press conference. Quiet is good for Jeremy Pena. Still is good for Jeremy Pena. He's got so many great physical tools. He's strong. He's got a short swing. He can cover the entirety of the plate pretty easily. He just has to be in a good position to do that. And being quiet and being slow at the plate allows his physical gifts to work.
And we feel like he's been here forever because of the great 2022 postseason that he had. But this is a kid that is very, very relatively young in his career as far as experience in the big leagues.
And he's going through a very natural progression that a lot of young hitters go through. He comes in his first year, the league doesn't really know what to do with him, and all of a sudden they start making adjustments and trying to expose weaknesses. And then he has to go through the adjustment which he went through last year, where you really have to get more disciplined at the plate, swing decisions. He did that, and he did that very well. Now he's in the next phase of that progression where you take those swing decisions and you start putting your best swings on those balls that you're deciding to go after power comes.
All right, 2 batters later in that 7th inning, he flipped it to the top of the order. Jose Altuve just absolutely crushes this pitch.
Fastballs at the top of the zone are really dangerous against Jose Altuve. He gets up there about as well as anybody in baseball. That's pretty much the same location as the home run that he hit yesterday. It doesn't matter if it's 95, 98 miles an hour. He can get on top of just about anything. That ball got out in a heartbeat. And I don't know if we thought enough about what it would mean for Yordan Alvarez to be hitting behind Jose Altuve. We knew that what it would do for Yordan, moving him up in the order, but having Yordan protecting Jose Altuve, getting him more fastballs, pitchers being more aggressive, it's going to be a lot of big hits for Jose.
Yeah, hopefully that will continue, obviously, as it has in the 2 wins that the Astros
bump on the front. There is a speed bump on the front.